Hello everyone, welcome back on the channel and welcome back to another building. This time I was inspired by a bit of nature. I think it's because of the lockdown, it's still going on. So here we go, a terraced Japanese rice field, and it's coming with a farmhouse who is taking care of the rice field. But just before we dive in, I wanted to remind you that if you like the video, then please hit a like, and if you do enjoy the other videos as well, then subscribe and stick around. Follow my journey with all these buildings, and then later on with the gameplay. I would really appreciate it if you stick around and leave me a comment if you want to. I am looking forward to hear back from you. If you have any ideas what else to build in my Japanese village, then please feel free, because I'm running out of ideas and I'm just trying to figure out what's missing. We already have monastery, we have national park, we have now a farm, we have another farm village, 2 houses. So I'm not quite sure. Oh yeah, and the tea house obviously, and an onsen bath. So if you have any idea, then leave it below. And if you have any comments regard to the video, then also please feel free to share it with me. I'm looking for new ideas and obviously for feedback as well. But let's get back to the building. So here I sticked with the traditional way, which is a hard fence around the house. This was, as far as my knowledge is, that these fences meant to keep the house safe from the ninjas. Obviously, like back in the age when ninjas was hitting on houses and samurais were out on the warfield, then they felt like these walls would probably stop them. However, obviously, like ninjas was training to climb on these. So I think if you've seen any films, like literally any films with ninjas in, they would for sure climbing on these fences. But they were meant to protect the house. Now, because of this, the house will be dark again. I do realize that most of the houses are dark because I did not really want it to add like normal lamps in them. Now in this one I've added some normal lamps, and you're gonna see that this is a bit, how should I say, I was inspired by another Sims builder, Julia, and I wanted to add a new style, so I did not really want it to leave it really poor this time. So you're gonna see that this is a bit more embellished house than the prior ones possibly, and I was trying to fit in this cubic style of the Japanese houses. So this is still traditional, but not that old than the other styles. So this inner cubic meant to work like it is a bit enclosed so you're gonna get the room feeling, I guess, but it's still like it is open on the sides, so the wind can blow across the house and cool it down when it was necessary to do so. I have not added a fireplace in the end in this house, you're gonna see, but I could have done it, because then otherwise they don't really have heating, I guess. But yeah, next time, or maybe when I get into the gameplay, if I'm gonna play this house, I possibly add it, but I have missed it out, to be honest. But here we go, we have the kitchen part, which is traditionally going on the side of the houses, and we have this inner cubic, which is functioning as the diner and the lounge as well. So you're gonna see that I fitted in the sofa and everything. Then I had to rearrange it slightly bit, and this time I was keen, like, I do regret to say, but in a couple of builds I've added the bathrooms together with the toilets, but I actually realized that they should be separate. So this time I was keen on keeping them separate from each other. But why I've done it, because I was watching lots of Japanese home videos, like videos where they go around, but I've realized that all of them are new build flats. And in new build flats, because they are teeny tiny, they are fitting in everything into the same place and try to keep it as small as possible. Like you can see the shower head above the toilets and so on. So this time I kept them separate to keep it traditional. And I've added also a small bedroom. Now in this house, obviously, like only one bedroom, because there was no way to fit in a second one. And then I've started to add some decoration as well. So as I said, like this house is rather more embellished than a farmhouse supposed to be. But I guess like this is quite a big rice field, so it could be that they are wealthy because they earn enough from the grounds, and I felt like, yeah, why not? Also, I've added some like an easel and quite a few of paintings, so it does feel like that they are a little bit artistic and obviously working out on the field. Now, with the bedroom, I've ended up removing the wall, as you can see, and added these screens instead, so I could have done this open door feeling. And literally the house is done. That was pretty quick because it is tiny inside, even though it seems to be like a rather huge house, but it is tiny for the build. And then I went on to the terraced garden. I really enjoyed this, and actually, like as I said, I have not been in Japan, but I've been in Thailand so many times. And once we got to a place where we visited a terraced rice field, and they just look amazing. Like, I think if you ever wanted to take photos, then these are the places to do so. And here I've downloaded Rice CC. They should be functioning fully as plants. If you just Google Rice CC, then you're gonna find them, I'm sure. But I've included them into the creators list who I'm using the CCs from, so you should be able to find it. And here I went on to the decoration. I did not, like, I've started to add bits and bobs, but then I went into the debug items, and as with the debug items, I feel like you just need to scroll down and go all the way unless you know all the debug items from scratch. And whatever felt that it is going with the garden, I just sticked it in. I did not want it to overload the garden because obviously it is meant to be just the rice field. But while I was checking out photos for inspiration, they usually have forests behind. It's obviously like placed on the side of the mountains, so they do have wild trees, etc. And I've decided to add these trees because otherwise it felt just really naked, to be honest. So I've added all these bits and bobs, and I really wanted to include like a fishing pond. And for the first time I was like, yeah, but all these water bits are over on the side of the pond, so it just looks ugly. But I've decided that I'd rather embellish it around with rocks and hide away the overflowing water part, and have it, because they are on a farm, so they possibly want to eat some fish next to their rices. It's just, I think it is traditional for Japan to have lots of fish as well. So yeah, just such as sushi and a lot more like tuna. So I've decided to keep that pond and just decorate all around. And then here I'm adding a little bit of, like you can see, I've tried to define the terraces. Like you're gonna see when the rice is in full bloom, then obviously the terraces should be like fully green. But when they are not, then they are quite like dry places, obviously later on they need lots of water, but this time I just went with this dry look, and I think it defined really well the terraces for me. So here we go. It was a really quick build, to be honest. To be 100% honest, it was like 3 times jump in because my game was glitching out. But I'm glad how it turned out, and I'm hoping you like it as well. So once more, if you liked it, like the video, and if you want to stick around, then please hit subscribe. And I should see you in a week. Bye!